this is the last day, the last morning. This is it. I go home. And we just got it done.
Okay, kids, listen up. Today's word of the day is feral swine. Say it with me.
Feral swine!
Now, this may sound a bit nasty, but really, feral swine is just the professional fancy way of saying wild boar or wild pigs. And those wild boar are what bring me to Georgia. Well, that and to hunt with all of my feral friends. Are you lucky?
I'm feeling pretty lucky tonight.
Feeling pretty lucky, he says. I think we're doomed.
Well, Nick, how you doing back there?
I haven't got a nickel, waiting for a train.
Where I'm headed, things slow down a lot. The hills get taller and the hollers get deeper, and there are no shortage of interesting folks. And one of those folks is this guy, my good friend and Georgia native, Mark Lovell, owner and operator of Headwaters on the Soquel. 2 years ago, I hunted turkeys with Mark. And I also caught one of the biggest trout of my life on his incredible private stretch of the Soquel River. Now I'm back to hunt wild boar. Only it's the middle of July and it's hot as hell, which means the hunting is gonna be tough, and we may need to resort to some tactics that I've never tried before. Yep, that's a Pulsar thermal scope on top of my Frankie. And yes, it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I've never done this before. I think I might have found my new favorite game. Shooting at night. Nothing about that feels right. Nothing. Please tell me I'm not breaking the rules. I feel like I'm breaking the rules.
There's no rules in hog hunting.
Good enough. No rules in hog hunting. I like them.
There are 159 counties in Georgia, and it's reported that wild boar live in every one of them. Wild boar breed year-round, and a sow can give birth to up to a dozen piglets twice a year. And those 24 piglets can breed again at just 5 months old. With just a little bit of math, you can quickly see why wild boar are such an invasive problem. We head out for our first morning of hunting. It's 95 degrees and humid. We set up in several different spots, but as we expected, the hunting is slow because there are a lot of crops around, and pigs love two things, food and shade, and the standing corn that's everywhere offers both. Later, when we're done hunting for the morning, I get a first-hand look at the devastation that wild pigs bring to an area like this.
Whoa, look at that.
Yeah, this is the damage we're dealing with the pigs and the bears. But the pigs can do this. In a month, they can take out 5 or 6 acres of this stuff.
Unbelievable. And look at this. I mean, literally. I mean, look at that. Just like I'd eat it at home. Except this one's moldy. I won't be doing that.
The economic impact of damage caused by wild boar in just 1 year is estimated at $150 million in Georgia alone. And throughout the U.S., wild hogs can be blamed for a staggering $1.5 billion of damage every year. While Mark and I were searching and sweating for a wild boar to bring back to camp for the pig roast, my wife Natalie was taking care of dinner for the fish fry.
There he goes.
But I guess there's always peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
We have been absolutely sweating our butts off, hiking all over the place. It's like 100% humidity and 90 degrees. Meanwhile, Natalie's in the nice cool stream all day. I'm doing the wrong thing. Women are smarter.
I'm in Georgia with Mark Lovell at Headwaters on the Soquel, and I'm hunting for wild boar in the middle of July, which I'm beginning to regret. Because it's hot, it's buggy, and the pigs are not cooperating. We spend the next several days throwing the kitchen sink at them, hunting up and down the hollers, and hunting out of these redneck blinds. And from this comfortable vantage point up high, we can clearly see a few of our problems laid out right before us. The abundance of standing corn is one of them. The other is old Yogi himself.
It's cool to see another black bear. We've learned the hard way that the pigs and the bears don't like each other.
The old adage goes, if you find the sign, then hunt it. And that afternoon, we found a lot of pig sign. But of course, just after we set up, another black bear spoiled our plans.
Man, it doesn't get any cooler than that. It's a nice consolation prize.
As cool as it was to see a black bear up that close, I was admittedly beginning to get frustrated with our bad luck. And then suddenly, that luck changed.
He's coming up here.
This is a big lone boar, one that will make a lot of sausage, but in this lone cover, I struggled to find a clear shot.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? We've been waiting for 4 days for that moment. And it just went by like that. I think he winded us. The luck we're having, that might have been the whole kit and caboodle right there. It's a big ass boar too, isn't he?
Wild boar are not native to North America. It was the early Spanish explorers that brought them to the US in the 1500s. Domesticated pigs were brought here as livestock. Some of them escaped their enclosures or were just let free. And being the prolific reproducers that pigs are, they quickly established a feral population that became the beginning of the widespread feral swine problem that we have today. That evening, we decided to change things up.
I need a force multiplier. And today it comes in the form of my buddy Kevin, who drove all the way up here from Atlanta.
To start with, Natalie and my buddy Kevin decide to join us. And then we sit and wait for something that I'm usually never excited about when I hunt. We anxiously await dark. Why? Because it's time to break out the thermal scopes. Using this Pulsar thermal imaging is something brand new to me, and I was blown away at how cool it is. We saw all sorts of animals, including lots of bears, and that spelled 0 pigs.
Since the bears are around, I'm pretty sure the pigs are gone. But I think I found my new favorite game.
After 4 days of frustrating struggle with the heat and the pigs, we decide to give up on hunting the north part of Georgia and head to hunt the south part. And on my way there, I make a pit stop. Because if you know me, you know that when the hunting sucks, I'd rather be flying. We stop just south of Atlanta at a little airport called Peach State Aerodrome. And this place is special for a lot more than just its grass runway. In this part of Georgia, there are more general aviation airports per square mile than just about anywhere else in the world. And that's partly because of its proximity to Atlanta's International Airport and all the pilots that work there. Peach State Aerodrome is at the center of this vibrant aviation community, and every weekend people fly in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And if you don't have an airplane, you can drive in, watch all the unique airplanes, and eat some good food. And as if this place wasn't cool enough, it's also a fly-in neighborhood. Yep, people actually have homes built right on the runway and all around the field. For these folks, instead of having a garage attached to your house, they have a hangar. And that means they can literally leave their home and fly off in their plane without ever having to get in a car to go to an airport. Now that's my kind of house. After I've had an incredible breakfast with a group of fellow pilots, I take a second to chat with Kayla McLeod, and she tells me a little bit about why this place means so much to her.
Just a couple of hours on a Saturday morning here, watching all these planes come in and feeling the energy here. This place is really special, isn't it?
It is. That's the short way and the easy way of putting it.
But it's special to you because this place introduced you to aviation, right?
It did. Peach State is the entire reason that I'm a pilot, that I'm interested in aviation. All these little puzzle pieces come together.
And it all starts here.
It all starts here, and it all starts with our founder, Ron Alexander.
Around these parts, Ron Alexander was not only known as a giant of the aviation world, he was also an American hero. He was in the Air Force flying both C-130s and de Havilland Caribous in the Vietnam War, and was awarded the Flying Cross for his skill and bravery. Ron then went on to a career as an airline pilot. And while his life had many business ventures and achievements, one could argue that his greatest of all was this place. Ron bought Peach State Aerodrome and transformed it into something special. He envisioned it as a recreation of the old Candler Field, which later became Atlanta's International Airport. He not only wanted it to be a museum and a living piece of history, he also created a one-of-a-kind program for youth. that prepared kids for aviation careers as pilots and technicians. And it's through this program that people like Kayla learn to fly. Ron Alexander used airplanes and this piece of property to bring a community of pilots together and to create new ones. Tragically, on November 17, 2016, he died doing the very thing that he loved most, flying. Ron left behind a legacy that is larger than life, and for people like Kayla, one that was life-changing.
Do you feel a sense of obligation? Do you feel a sense of pressure?
I do.
To carry it on?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a good kind of pressure. You know, Ron put a lot of pressure on us kids to, you know, do our best, to not be screw-ups, you know,
yeah.
that kind of thing. So I do feel a sense of responsibility to continue on with his legacy to get other kids up in the air and flying.
That's awesome.
It's been over 100 years since aviation began, and airplanes have changed the world, and nowadays they touch every facet of our lives. Out in the country south of Atlanta, there's a little place called Peach State Aerodrome, and I'm discovering that it's so much more than a vintage airport, a restaurant, or a museum. It's part of the heartbeat of a community of pilots from all walks of life. After the tragic death of its founder, Ron Alexander, two of Ron's friends, Kevin and Linda Sasser, stepped in to not only keep Ron's dream alive, but to also cope from the grief of another death.
You have a son that passed away in an airplane crash.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's an ironic thing that a lot of people wouldn't expect to go hand in hand. A lot of people would think you'd run away from airplanes, but instead you've run towards them.
Yeah, I think we had to, because if we didn't, we would have really run away. You know,
Yeah.
It was just the right thing to do. It was his passion, and the way he helped these kids where he was at.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you either attack it and be aggressive with it, or you
do the opposite. Right away.
You get eaten by it.
Yeah, it eats you up. So we try to channel the loss into gain with all these kids. And
Well, and in a really interesting way, Hank has he's our son, but he's become our leader.
Sure.
And to know he would just be so proud of his mom and dad, that's just a fulfilling thing. I mean, that's very fulfilling.
Yeah.
He'd want to be right here.
Oh boy.
He is right here, but he'd want to be right here.
We'd be mixing it up.
You can definitely feel the spirit of Hank Sasser everywhere around here, right down to the coffee mugs that bear his favorite saying. And the Sassers have created a foundation in Hank's name for the benefit of youth in aviation. And judging by what I've heard about him, I'm sure that would make Hank Sasser grateful. Obviously, there are no shortage of interesting characters here at Peach State, and the more of them I meet, the more I like this place. And then I meet this guy, Ryan Hunt. Ryan's a pilot, and he may not know it yet, but he's officially my new best friend. And that is because he's going to give me a ride in this.
Look at that.
This is the legendary T6 Texan. It's affectionately known as the Pilot Maker because in World War II, basically every fighter pilot learned to fly in one of these.
It gives me goosebumps when I look at this to think about the 18 and 19-year-old kids, I mean, literally babies. Mm-hmm. This is the last stop before they got into a big warbird and headed over to Europe.
Yep, they finished this up, jumped in the fighter, and away they went.
In 1939, at the beginning of World War II, the U.S. only had 1,000 pilots. By 1943, we had over 165,000. A lot of them thanks to this airplane. A lot of them just 18 or 19 years old. And a lot of them never made it home.
I'd have been the old guy. And, but, you know, every time I go up in these old birds, I mean, thinking about what it was in its prime, what its purpose was, it's astounding.
And when you're flying this, you're preserving that history.
Exactly, and
that must feel amazing.
It makes the world for me.
I bet.
So that's what it's all about, keeping it alive, keep them flying.
Ryan has been in and around airplanes his entire life, and he's a bit of a unicorn. He's a 25-year-old, third-generation warbird pilot. Ryan, his dad, and his grandfather all still fly together in old warbirds. How cool is that? I've been obsessed with warbirds since I was a kid too, and today, Ryan is gonna make one of my dreams come true. Yep, I'm gonna get to fly this thing.
And we're flying, baby! The first thing that strikes me here is that literally this feels like we're riding Harley in the sky. It sounds like one, it feels like one. It's unbelievable.
Ready? Your controls.
My controls.
And that's what I want to see. Good positive change.
All right, so I'm off. Got it. I'm flying. Best day of my damn life right now. True dream come true, literally.
Yeah, she's a beautiful airplane.
Oh my God. Yeehaw! Yeah, baby. Ow! Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah, baby. Woo!
That's what it's all
That's
about.
awesome. I love this so much. Oh my God. Oh! Yeehaw! Yeah, man. That's called living right there.
All righty, let's go wake everybody up.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey. Yeehaw! That's what it's about, boys. I've done a lot of cool stuff, but riding around in a Harley in the sky tops them all. Unbelievable. And I didn't get sick.
After 4 days of hunting hogs with no luck in the north part of Georgia, we headed south, and I made a pit stop here at Peach State Aerodrome, where I found out dreams come true. Now it's time to head to the south part of Georgia to meet back up with Natalie, Mark Lovell, and all my friends in hopes of finally connecting with a wild boar. And that night, I get as much sleep as I can, because we're getting up way too early for my taste.
It's 3:30 in the morning. There aren't many things that I'll get up for. Hunting tends to sometimes be one of them, but not usually at 3:30 in the morning. I hate this guy right now.
Truth be told, judging by my luck up to this point, in this heat, I had no confidence that I would even see a pig.
I think that's a pig.
But I was wrong.
Yeah, that's a pig. This is the last day, the last morning. This is it. I go home. Tonight, this afternoon, I'm done. And we just got it done.
There's a fire inside of all of us. And over the past 7 days, I've been reminded just how important that fire is. And also just how lucky I am to be surrounded by people that feel the same way.
I got 100 reasons I could live with regret. But nothing in my past has killed me yet.
Life. It comes, it goes, it stands still, it races by, and sometimes it's taken from us all too soon. And what you choose to do with your life is up to you. And if you ask me, it should be spent doing something you love. Some of us are given reasons to quit trying, but I was reassured of something here in Georgia. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. And the best of us do that not only for ourselves, but also for the ones that can't be here and for the ones we love.